I'll say the Bears.
Yo, are you looking to become the new owner of the Bears or what?
Oh, yes, definitely.
That's quarterback Jordan Love says his favorite team to play against is the Chicago Bears. And joining us now, former Packer and Raider, James Jones. How you doing there, James? What's going on?
I'm living the dream, fellas. How you doing?
Doing great. So you just heard Jordan Love there. Who is, as a Packer, as a Raider, who is the team that you enjoy playing against the most?
Well, you know, the team I had the most touchdowns against in my career was the Chicago Bears. But I would have to say when I was playing, I would have to say probably the Detroit Lions because we always knew the Detroit Lions would be a stat padding game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it was always the Detroit Lions.
You know, James, how do you define – I mean, a lot of us, you know, I played Buffalo. Our rival was Miami. But, I mean, it's the Bears and Packers. How do you define that rivalry of so many years of going back and forth?
Yeah, man, it's different. And I didn't really know how much of a rivalry it was until my very first time playing them. You know what I mean? It's just a different week in the locker room. The coaches is different. You know, the coaches is showing all type of old school films of how grimy and nasty and ugly they used to play with each other and hitting after the whistle and all that. That this game just means a little bit more. And then for it to just be the oldest rivalry in football, man. When you think about how long the NFL has been around and the Bears and the Packers have played the most out of any team ever. And it just means something. That's why till this day, when I see Brian Urlacher walking around Arizona, I don't speak to him.
That's great. Hey, James, tell us about this new show called The Facility. You got a lot of great players that are doing this show with you. Tell us a little bit about this and how did it all come about?
Yeah, man, make sure you tune into The Facility, man, on Tuesdays, man, 7 to 9 in the morning. It is myself, Emmanuel Acho, Shady, McCoy, and Chase Daniels. And we named it The Facility because we really just want to bring people into the locker room, into the facility, whether it may be the training room, whether it may be the locker room, whether it may be the film room, whether it may be the plane. We just want to bring you in to what NFL players truly go through, how they prepare and all that good stuff, and just really talk some ball. So it should be good. You have a quarterback on the show, you got a receiver on the show, you got a running back, and you have a defensive player in Emmanuel Acho who played linebacker. So you should tune in. You're going to learn a lot. We'll be breaking down a lot of film, and we'll be talking a lot of ball.
How do you think the room is in San Francisco now that Brandon Aiyuk got paid?
I think they're a little bit happy, but they still sad because the best player on the football team in Trent Williams is not there. And one thing I know playing at San Jose State is if you don't have an offensive line to protect, it don't matter how good you are on the outside. I remember playing, we used to go and play Florida and Ohio State just to get our check. And I always used to tell my coach, like, man, this is who they saying going in the first round. Like, he can't even guard me. These secondary DBs is garbage. And I said, just throw me the ball. He said, listen here, man, sit down. He said, if you can't get open in 2 seconds, shut up. Because we can't block them. So Brock Purdy cannot get any protection. It don't matter how good of a play caller Kyle Shanahan is. It don't matter how good Debo is, Brandon Aiyuk is. We even seen him in preseason without Trent running for his life. Yeah. So that's a big problem right now going on in San Francisco. They have to find a way to get Trent in the building.
And I second the motion as the next quarterback, having that left tackle, that backside tackle. Looking at training camp overall, obviously there's the usual suspect. There's the Chiefs, there's the Niners, there's Detroit. There's those teams that are up there. Philadelphia really struggled at the end of the year. They go to the playoffs, and they just lay a big one. What can they do to rebound, per se, to get back to it? And was there really a rift between Jalen Hurts and Coach Sirianni?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, looking at what the Philadelphia Eagles did this offseason, it's all on Jalen Hurts. They basically saying, man, listen here. All right, you can come up with all the excuses you want, but we have put everything around you to be successful. And if you can't deliver and you turning the ball over the way you was turning the ball over, it don't have nothing to do with play calls. It don't got nothing to do with nothing. Because at the end of the day, when you got when you got A.J. Brown and you got Devontae Smith and you just traded for Dobson and you have Dallas Goedert and you signed Saquon Barkley You have the best skill positions in the National Football League. I don't care about the San Francisco 49ers from top to bottom. You have the best weapons in the National Football League. You have to go deliver. When I was with Green Bay, we didn't care what play we called because we always knew somebody is going to be on the weak link, and that person is in trouble, and Aaron will find it. So it's all on Jalen Hurts this year. I think we'll truly find out how either good Jalen Hurts is or how bad Jalen Hurts is.
James Jones joining us, former Packer, Raider, now a co-host of the Facility on Fox on Tuesdays mornings from 7 to 9. James, you live here in the Valley. You get to see what's going on with the Arizona Cardinals. What kind of year can you expect? 6 wins, more than 6 wins. Where do you have this team?
I'm telling you, man, that the Arizona Cardinals fans should be encouraged, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be better than a lot of people think they're going to be. I think Kyler Murray is better than a lot of people think he's going to be. I think Maserati Marvin is going to have a big impact. I think they're going to play really good football on the offensive side of the ball. My question mark is I don't know what this defense is going to be, but they're going to be competitive. The Arizona Cardinals is going to be a competitive football team. The record might not show at the end of the year. I don't know what that may say, but it's not going to be a lot of games to where that they just were not in the ball game. This is going to be a competitive team. They got a franchise quarterback with a franchise receiver. You know, defensively, if they're able to answer the bell in some of these games, I think they're going to be just fine. But I don't think the Cardinals is going to be as bad as people think they're going to be.
What will be the main difference in the offense with the addition of Marvin Harrison Jr., James?
Well, I just think it's a guy that's a coverage dictator. You know what I'm saying? You got Maserati Marv now. You know they're going to try to get him involved. You know he's going to be a big-time player. So now it's all about, okay, when we break the huddle, let's find him. You know what I mean? And I do think he's going to be one of them year after year Pro Bowl receivers. He's just a big-time player. So now you got a guy to kind of be that coverage dictator, and you'll be able to run the ball well with James Conner, and then obviously the legs of the quarterback. You're going to be just fine. But I think this offense is going to be legit. I think they're going to be better than a lot of people think.
And we talked about Michael Wilson last year, his rookie year, got banged up a little bit. He's healthy now. Can you see Michael Wilson having somewhat of a breakout year as well, too, this young man, second year out of Stanford?
He better because you're going to need some of them young dudes to step up to be able to make some plays. So I think when you talk about that for the Arizona Cardinals being able to have some success, there's going to have to be some unsung heroes. There's going to have to be some young players that, coming out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, making some plays. So, I know they're excited about him. So it'll be one of those ones to where, Maserati Marv is going to show up. James Conner going to show up. Kyler going to show up. We need some of these other guys to show up.
All right, so the Detroit Lions are somewhat the sexy pick to win it all, right? They're talking about it. Did they call one James Jones and reference how to catch the football in clutch positions in the fourth quarter? Did they track you down one way or the other?
No, they didn't track me down. But if they knew how to do that, they would have been in the Super Bowl. But they did not. They did not track me down. But I like that receiver core over there, man. I think Jamison Williams coming into his own over there. Walking into his third year. I think this team is going to be legit. I always tell everybody there's 6 teams that truly can walk into the facility right now and look around the locker room and say, we are Super Bowl contenders. We can get to that game. There's about 6 teams in the National Football League. I truly believe that the Detroit Lions are one of those 6.
And we haven't talked to you since I had a chance to watch the receiver over my vacation time about 3 or 4 weeks ago. What'd you think of that? Did you have a chance to watch the receiver? I thought it was great to see those 4 individuals breaking it all down like they did.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I think the main thing before the whole receiver came out, I told Devontae Adams, we had a conversation. I said, don't be having us on here looking like no divas now. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, you let them know that receivers is tough too. You know what I mean? So I thought it was good. You got a chance to see the receivers get beat up a little bit, even though they was frustrated and whining and complaining. They all got up and bounced back and went out there and, did what they had to do for their team. But it's always good when you have shows like that because you really can bring the fans in and really see the process that you go through to have success out there on that field.
James, again, congrats on the new show. We'll be watching, and always thanks for making some time for us local guys here in Phoenix. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Not a problem. Appreciate you, fellas.
You got it. That's James Jones, former Packer Raider great. Again, the show is called The Facility. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you take, it's a once a week, 7 to 9,
7 to 9 in the morning.
And I think a lot of us love to go behind the scenes.
Yes. Yeah.
And you got 4 guys. I'm sure Emmanuel's going to be probably the driver. He's the guy that kind of has been doing a lot of television, a lot of radio, so he's good. And Chase Daniel, and as well as LaShawn McCoy. So you got, like you said, you got 3 guys on offense, 1 guy on defense.
Yeah, you got a good
break
blend.
It all down.
Got a good blend to kind of go in there, a good 2-hour show to. I think the thing about that is they can give you the finer nuances of a lot of the games.
Yeah.
What guys are thinking, and I think that's fun, even for me to watch. So it's like, oh, okay, they're doing this and this. It's like watching the quarterback last year and then watching the receiver this year. You always want to hear folks go, oh wow, we didn't realize they did all that before a game, or the quarterback really does all that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, he was brought to you today by Wright Toyota, the right price, the right selection.